Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another edition of Keep You Modern Janky, trying out a user-submitted deck from Jordan Lee, a Bird Tribal in Modern. Played a few matches with it. I've been rusty and sick. So rusty from not playing much, because I've been out of town. And then, yeah, just then ended up getting sick. So the matches I did play post coming back, I was not my best self. Nevertheless, I've been trying this deck. There are a few things in it that I have some reservations about. This force negation might be good against what our opponent's doing. I guess we're going to end up playing a Plume Creed Escort on our opponent's end step. Anyway, I have some reservations. Don't get me. About some of the cards in the deck, but it's been fun, and I've seen some of the power of it. And I've enjoyed trying out my first viewer submitted deck. So that's cool. So we have a Into the Flood Mall, which I might be. I've doubted it in the past. Let's put it that way. Only to have regretted it. Oh, they kept a one-lander. Bam, 10-turn clock. We would love to draw a land right here. Land for Realm Walker, please. It is a land. Whew, that's good. Get them beats in with this 2-1 flash. So force and negation, I think, 2 in the main deck. I like that. So what I've discovered about this deck is we're kind of a tempo deck. Bard. I don't want to draw another land. Okay, so we're a tempo deck looking to pressure our opponent's life total with some cheap birds using Aether Vial. And then hold up some counter magic to protect, everything else. Stop what our opponent's doing, protect our birds, things like that. We cannot play the land off the top. Hey, we can play that though. We've already played our land, and it was a tapped land. Our opponent's probably like, man, this Bird Tribal deck. I'm assuming, man, our opponent must have something to do, right? We can just counter there. Should we counter the Lotus Bloom? Do we, okay. Doesn't it get cast at some point? There it goes on the stack. I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna counter it. This could be wrong, but go ahead and counter that one and maybe stop them from going off. I imagine they must have some interaction though, right? Alright, I feel like that they were really relying, with their one land hand, they must have been really relying on that to have a chance. Thunder Trap Trainer. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library and reveal non-creature. Alright, well, our shields are down. And our birds don't all fly, awkwardly enough. So we passed the first test. We can play Saj's Chocobo. And then Bart's and Boko. And there's a land. So let's do this the right way. We kind of want to draw that, don't we? Just to have some protection. I mean, this opponent's going to win or not on this turn, right? They have another Lotus Bloom, which is now going to come down, I think. Or maybe I missed it. Maybe it's not coming down this turn. Plain on it. Okay, so they have another. So we're going to draw our counter spell, Dazzling Denial. I don't really care about the Birds of Paradise. That's cool. This gives us a little bit of protection against if our opponent tries to do something. We can give our creature hexproof. I mean, I like where we're at. Dazzling Denial to counter something. Creatures your opponent's control get -2/-0 till end of turn. I don't think that matters, but they may have a force and negation. So that goes to 2. That goes to, I think they're just dead, right? Yeah, I mean, we could have countered that, but they could have, I mean, they were still just dead. Alright. So, I mean, we timboed our opponent out. They stumbled on lands. Seems like Pithing Needle could be good to name Lotus Bloom. More counter magic. So this is one of the, so you see the deck. Dazzling Denial, Bird Tribal, Counterspell. Sweet. I'd rather have Counterspell. So that's one change I would make immediately. And that's, you know, I would have to tweak the mana base, but that's another change I'd make immediately. Some of my matches were in the late game, and just this Mockingbird has not been very impressive either. We've been in the late game with a Dazzling Denial against big mana decks, wishing that we had a hard counter in that spot and not having it. Into the Flood Maul looks like it could be probably not that good. So that's one of the two changes. Add another land or two, tweak it so that there's more basics, and more fetches to help trigger landfall when we do have that combo. And then put in Counterspell over Dazzling Denial. I mean, I'm not sure Bird Tribal is ever going to have a high, be super competitive in Modern. But we can try to make it as competitive as possible. All right, I mean, we have the Aether Vial. I hate to put the Aether Vial on the bottom because this is... I don't usually play Aether Vial decks, and wanting to see its power. We don't have any counter magic, though, against a deck that wants to play counter. I think we have the mulligan and try to find some counter magic, some interaction with our opponent. Okay, two interactive pieces, 2 lands, 3 really. I mean, we're gonna put this on the bottom. I think it's our least impactful card. There's the Lotus Bloom. There's a Pithing Needle. Well, that's pretty nice. Maybe they have a force negation. That was a good top deck from us. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. I don't know what the name now. Alright, well, they're going to counter it anyway. Because Lotus Bloom is a mana ability, isn't it? If I understand everything correctly. Alright, so they had a piece of protection. We have a Dazzling Denial coming. But we don't have any birds, so we would love to find a bird here. That's why this being a counterspell is better. Also, the Cavern of Souls makes... I mean, we just need... Oh, sure. That's a thing. Boom. Gotcha. Two Aether Vials, no creatures in hand. Yeah, this is one of the things about Aether Vials is that you have it on turn one with a bunch of creatures. It's great. Have it on turn three or turn two with two of them and no creatures is bad. So is this better than a Coco? That's the other thing I'm thinking. Okay, could I just play Collector Company in this spot instead? Another Dazzling Denial that we unfortunately are unable to cast. Well, we can. Now we have. Besager seems like a really good card to fight our opponent's deck, too. So we can force a negation, pitching the Dazzling Denial to stop the Lotus Bloom. No birds. And hopefully then we can use this other Dazzling Denial to stop if they have a counter magic to fight it. But then we're just living off the top of our deck. All right. Well, I mean they are. We're winning the counter war, I think, but we are um, empty-handed and no action in sight. We can have a redraw here, I guess. With the Aether Vials, our mana is less of a big deal, I suppose. All the upkeep. Now they finally draw a card. We get a land. Yeah, put that on the stack. Yes, to put the 2. And yes, to put the 2. And that's cool. Boom. Got a bird. There's a threat, folks. It's a threat. Um, well, wait. We are going to draw a card. At the we're empty-handed with a 0-1. Can our opponent go off from where they're at? Or do they need to rebuild? Birds of Paradise. Guess we should have left it on 1. We got more 0-1s coming, folks. More 0-1s are on the way. Watch out. Oh, this is terrible. Who can dirtle the most? Who can win from the dirtling? Uh, so one of my thoughts on how to make Bird Tribal competitive, since the tribe in green and blue is not the strongest to begin with. And they can just win from here if they can find combo pieces. We have zero pressure. Anyway, one way to make the tribe a little bit more competitive would be to make our birds into threats somehow. And so my initial thought is Coat of Arms would be pretty sweet. Ooh, gonna make that with Offspring. Yeah, we're gonna have a 0 response. They're gonna be digging and digging. We don't want to draw a land, but I think a Traveling Chocobo would be our best draw. Find a Traveling Chocobo, Aether Violet in, find a fetch land, get the party started. We have a lot of mana now, so we can cast with Aether Vial. We have access to tons of. If we can find birds off the top of our library, we could really build up a big board state. But our opponent found our Lotus Bloom, and they found Into the Flood Maw. What do we find? Not even a fetch land. Does grow our bird. Still can attack. I mean, yeah, I would definitely put in more fetch lands. For this, we're not a heavy on landfall. It's not like my mono green landfall deck where we really want to trigger landfall. It's much as possible. But we do have situations where we have the cards that synergize. We have 8 cards that really go off with landfall, and we want to take advantage of it. So having like 2 to 4 more fetch lands feels right. This is a lot of clicking for these Aether Vials too. Another reason I would not play them. Oh man, how much different would this been? We wouldn't have been able to cast a collector company, so there's that. There's a ledger shredder. That's nice. From your hand though, so we can't cast that. Ledger shredder is one of our best draws. Here comes. I'm gonna give it hexproof. So we're seeing, I mean, a single Traveling Chocobo, like I said, is our best draw. And suddenly this hand is becoming much more playable. So we're going to give, hopefully, our Traveling Chocobo hexproof, as well as maybe this Saja's Chocobo hexproof. Did we get a tapped fish out of it? I don't think so, right? But I mean, then we're done. Like, our opponent can still win. I don't know what our opponent's doing with their mana broken stuff, but it's got to be something. And also, I'm pretty sure our Pithing Needle doesn't even stop Lotus. It says, unless it's a mana ability. Isn't Lotus Bloom exactly that? A mana ability? Are they a Char Belcher deck? Word of Invention. Search your library for an artifact card of mana value X or less. Put it on the battlefield. Okay. It's a 0, so they're going to go get a Lotus Bloom. Alright, so they found one of their payoff cards. Now, whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to your hand, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Only activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, sorry. So that... A counterspell would have been nice. So this, I think, this maybe lets them go infinite as far as they can get artifacts. They can get the Lotus Bloom, crack it for a white, do it again. But then so they can make infinite mana. Then what is their payoff from that? And they get to draw a card. They're going to do that a bunch until they run out of creatures, right? Return land you control to its owner's hand. Alright, so we'll F6 through this. We don't have anything to do. So they're going to return all their lands to their hand. Their lands are actually spells. Right? And so the land, okay, that's pretty sweet. I like it. So the lands are spells. And they can go get Waterlogged Teaching. Yeah, they can go get a land. Alright, so tap all creatures. They can stun our entire board if they have energy. So that's cool. I like that. Yeah, I like this Tameshi Reality Architect for my Omnath deck. I play it as a way to return make sure you make land drops. But I've never seen it with this particular combo. All right, so they're gonna draw 12 cards. And I guess try to find something. I don't know. I was asking him what the win con is. He or she says they don't think they can win yet, but the 15 cards. I'm sure that's they don't have any mana, but they have this nice little combo that they have set up. No, no, they said they didn't draw the win con. I mean, the game's not over though. Like we can hit for 2, 4. I mean, we can't really do much, unfortunately. We're drawing a counterspell, so if anything land or bird off the top, we get another look at it at least. Yep, there it is. All right, so hold on 1 second. Okay, here comes Star Belcher, and we're dead. Okay, go on to game 3. So yeah, it is a Char Belcher deck, but we got to see a different aspect of it, which was cool. So we were gonna end up finding a land into a Realm Walker. Yeah. All right. So Aether Vial on the play, is it good? Is it bad? I mean, so Force of Vigor doesn't do anything because of the Char Belchers. Urkel's Recall also doesn't do a whole lot. Damping Sphere. I mean, when they go off, they just. All right, new subscriber, Bruder Seth. Appreciate it. All right. Well, I mean, we have some things. We have some things. I like our traveling chocobo. I like having some interaction. But we were gonna take it slow with the hedge maze. I said it right this time. I said a hedge mage. I mean, that is one of our best cards. But we also need to make land drops. So do we want to put it into the graveyard? We have one in hand, so we're gonna put it in the graveyard. Um, can, we have some ways to fight through our opponent's. All right, that's a good draw though. So we did find the fetch land. We don't have another hedge maze to tutor up, so that's another thing we could change for situations like this where we want. No, you do endurance. I'm glad we didn't take it out. It does fight through some of what we saw our opponent trying to do last game, which was cycle the Lotus Bloom from their graveyard to their hand repeatedly. I would hate to have to pitch a Traveling Chocobo for it, though. But yeah, so in case you weren't unaware, my kids are home this week, so they're being very nice and quiet, coming in here asking me things like, when can we eat? I did offer to feed them before I got home this match. And then my daughter coming in as Elsa, asking how to wash off mascara. Don't know. I think I want to save this Saja's Chocobo for. Do they have a Lotus? Okay, for a to pitch to endurance. So I mean, you see, just having two fetch lands is super powerful. So I mean, we definitely would like more fetch lands. Let's see what we're gonna find off the top. If they don't have a counterspell for it. We also need to get our sequencing correct with this endurance. I feel pretty decent about where we're at if we can untap with a Traveling Chocobo and a Saja's Chocobo plus Endurance at instant speed and two counterspells. So we kind of want to see a land. Hold up Dazzling. Oh, it is a land. Hold up Dazz's Dazzling, Denial, and Counterspell. plus the graveyard hate. I assume they want that Lotus Bloom in there for a reason. Man, down to 10. These these lightning bolt lands don't come cheap. None of our birds fly, unfortunately, so we will not be able to um, get through these ground creatures that the opponent plays to dig for their things. Should they want to preserve the life total for. Let's see, what do we see on top? Another Saj's Chocobo. Glad we got the island instead of the forest. So I think this is it. I mean, this is the turn. Their turn 4 is usually when they can win with the Belcher. So, yep. Go to 7. So if he can survive the turn, we might be able to get there. Gonna Whir of Invention. Dazzling Denial. The Bird Tribal Counterspell, baby. You gotta pay 4, man. Too bad it doesn't double up for each bird. Then it might be playable. Because against all the big meta decks, they're just like, alright, I'll pay 4. It's fine. Do they have a Force of Negation or that Shoal card? The Counter Magic Wars are back, folks. Alright. Did not fight us over that one. We still have one counter spell to go. Can we punch through the damage? I mean, they have to assume we have counter spells because we didn't play our Saj's Chocobo off the top when we could have. Lunchtime on the East Coast. It's a very slow internet connection. Alright. So we can. I don't even want to. I still don't want to play the Saj's Chocobo. I mean, just grow that. Attack for lethal. Hopefully we can counter whatever they do. Just keep their board alive. Because this is all we got. I mean, we're going for it. If they have like a Force of Negation or another way and then they untap and go after, and then they can maybe chain together a series of things that lets them win. I'm hoping that this Endurance will be enough to All right, Brooder Seth, I enjoyed your deck. I enjoyed watching you win and using some different combination of cards. And thank you for the sub for cyclesgaming.com. This is Johnny Cycles. I'll catch y'all on the next one.